Hello, everyone. Alrighty. Getting back to it. This is a new recording session. I apologize for the last 6 episodes. The volume was pretty low on the game. I didn't notice that I had it set a little bit lower. I tried streaming at one point, so I turned the volume down and never turned it back up to record. So I apologize if it was a little bit low. If you preferred it low, then good on you. It's I don't know. Maybe you really like hearing me blab on about nonsense, and it was easier to hear me. Me personally, I like to listen to the game a little bit. I like to hear a little bit about what's going on, especially with the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is friggin' awesome. So, though I'll admit, I don't know if I like it as much as I like the original. Although that might just be, that could easily just be nostalgia goggles, or nostalgia headphones, I guess. Yeah, which again is not to say that this is awful. I have the soundtrack for it and it's amazing. All right, this I don't believe was the map. I think this was something else. But we're here, so let's see. Remember, you don't need to do all the underground spots, just the ones that have items in them. Something that is an upgrade for your car or an upgrade for your Jason walking around. That's right, because he's your Jason as long as it's your game. You paid the $9.99 for this game, he's your Jason. So yeah, maybe you guys can give me a hand with something. This summer, if you have me on Twitter, then you saw I posted this. The day that I'm recording this is actually the day that I posted this. But this summer I'm gonna have to get a new car. And yeah, see, this is just items and stuff. So we didn't have to come here, but what the hell, we're here. But I'm gonna end up having to get a new car. I've had my minivan for 5 years. Damn it, 5 years. And it's reaching a point where, I mean, it's over 130,000 miles. It's reaching a point where it's not worth it to fix because of the stuff that's breaking. When you have a car, you can get upset when certain things break. But the reality is there are certain things that are going to break. You can't get upset when you take it to the shop or you take it to get inspected and they say, hey, you need new brakes. And then it's been 10 years since you've owned the car. Brakes wear out. That's the sort of thing that happens. Your transmission eventually needs to be serviced. You're gonna need fluid change. When your oil light comes on, no one freaks out. It's your oil needs to be changed. That's just a normal thing that happens. Even stuff like your suspension, the things like your suspension are expensive to fix, but they are things that are going to break. That is how cars work. And if you can't deal with that, you got to take the bus, man. And even the buses deal with it. It's just you don't experience it. So I'm getting to a point where it's going beyond the regular stuff. It's one thing to say that your car needs an oil change or new brakes. It's another thing when and this didn't happen, but it's another thing when you start hearing things like, but your axles are rusted and you need new axles. That's the sort of thing that, oh yeah, check this out. Fire actually destroys these blocks. So they're kind of like little shortcuts. But, you'll get to a point where really excessive things are breaking and need to be fixed. That's when it's time to make the decision that you might need to just get a whole new car. What if it's costing you $3,000 to get fixed once a year? It's getting to an excessive point. So you gotta, no matter how much you love your, damn it. You know, no matter how much you love your car, sometimes you got to make that choice. So I'm getting to the point where my minivan is dying, and I'm going to need to make that choice. So I want you guys to give me a hand. Anybody out there who is driving, whether you own your car or whether, you know, you have your license and you drive the family car, let me know what you drive. Let me know how you like what you drive. You know, I really want to, I've always wanted a Toyota Matrix. I've always liked them. I always like the look. To be completely honest, what I really want is another minivan. I absolutely love minivans. I've driven minivans. I've driven cars. I like the height that the minivan gives you. It's weird as it sounds, I feel a little bit safer. And I like the hauling capacity. You know, if I take a cosplay to a convention that has a big prop, I don't need to ship it in pieces. I don't need to just forego the prop altogether. I've got a minivan. I take out 2 seats, and I've got plenty of storage. You know, and I like that. Hard rolls snack time. Okay, sure. You know, and I like that. I like the versatility that it gives me. You know, it's people they see my minivan and they joke. You know, oh look, it's a soccer mom. And then I look at them in their little cars, and I always ask the same thing. Let me ask you something. If you needed to put up some sheetrock in your house, some drywall, how are you getting it to your house? You're gonna strap it to the top of your car, hope that it doesn't break, and hope that it doesn't scratch up the top of your car. I fold my seats down and throw it in there. You know, if you've got 5 or 6, if you've got 6 people with luggage, and you're going to a long convention, you know, when I go to MagFest or even Too Many Games, I think Too Many Games, I had like 5 people in the car with all their luggage and stuff, and my costume prop. Maximum shot, that's a bigger, wider shot for Sophia. But you know, when I go and I do all of that, I can do it. I'm not in a tiny little car and I need to rely on somebody else to help me out, or again, I just can't do it at all. You know, I don't like that. I don't like having to rely on somebody for stuff like that. But so I would love to get a new minivan, but I know that it's not probable. You know, unfortunately, in searching minivans, I think it's this way. I think I'm looking for the map. So, and I think it's this way. I know generally minivans tend to cost a little bit more. I knew that. I knew that from searching when we were looking for my wife's car. So I know that they're a little bit more. So I may end up having to forego the minivan and get a car. But I'm not... There aren't a whole lot of cars that I've ever really liked. So what I'd like to know is if you guys, you know, if you guys are driving out there, let me know what you drive. Let me know how you feel about it. I've had a couple people tell me that the Mazda 6, which is a nice car. I have seen that car before and I have admired it. So I looked at that. They told me that the gas mileage was bad, but I actually don't drive very far. I live not far from work and I don't really do much else, to be completely honest. As sad as that kind of sounds. You know, so the gas mileage thing isn't too much of a problem. It's more of basically it's the initial cost of the car and maintenance. You know, I've seen Matrixes. I know a couple people that have had them and they said that they've held up very well for them. So I am very, you know, plus I just really like the look. You know, so yeah, let me know, you know, you guys can give me a hand. Who knows, maybe if somebody gives me the winning suggestion, I'll get a sticker with your name on it. We'll throw that on the front of the car or on the back. Yeah, because if you guys have ever seen pictures of my car, well, my van, it's all sticker bombed up and or decaled, I should say, on the back window. Don't worry, it's not unsafe. It's in a part of the window that suspicious. It's in a part of the window that's not blocking anything. Yeah, it's funny. If you guys, it's weird. I only got my license about 5 years ago, actually. When we had a van, but she was the primary driver. She was really the only driver. I knew how to drive. I just never got my license. I lived in the city, so I took mass transit everywhere, and then I worked for a mass transit company. So I wrote for a long time. I rode the system for free. So it was never really a necessary thing. Like it just never popped up that it was necessary that I drove. But eventually it was something that I wanted to do, and it was, we were both working separate places. It was just, it was a lot better for us to have a car, for us to each have a car. So I got my license, and then when I got my license, I took the minivan that we had, and then we got her a car. So now it's at the point where it's time to transition, but I don't know, I feel just weird about it. But yeah, if I went a long time without driving, because it didn't really matter. I didn't have access to a car really, so, or at least I didn't feel like I had access to a car. So I didn't really feel like I was missing anything. And then I started driving, and to this day, I still don't like it. I still feel like it's a chore. But at the same time, I can't deny, and I can't even talk down the extreme amount of freedom that it feels like you have. I love going to conventions and stuff, and the fact that I can go to any convention I want within a reasonable distance, and as long as my money's okay. But I can sit there and I can decide, hey, I feel like going 100 miles away to this convention, and I don't have to worry about securing a ride or mass transit or anything like that. I get in my car and I go. Well, I gas it up first, but then I get in my car and I go, and I decide which ones I go to and which ones I don't. I decide when I go and when I leave. There's so much freedom, and it's, as much as driving may feel like a chore, you just can't really deny how great that freedom feels. So yeah, if you're getting to that age where it's time to drive, definitely do it. It really does feel good. And I'll be honest with you, it helps. I know that there's a lot of... Uh-oh. My shield regenerated just in time to save my power. But yeah, get your license and learn to drive. Drive regularly. It definitely helps. I know there's a lot of families out there, and believe me, your parents they're busting their ass to take care of you. The best thing that you can do to help them out, when you're able to drive, and then when it's time for errands, go and do some of those errands for them, or drive them to those errands. It's a lot of decent, responsible teenagers are looking for a way when they to contribute to their household as soon as they can. Becoming a driver and helping everybody out is definitely a great way to do it. Ooh.